Hello everyone, this is Stefan, the tech editor of BestProducts.com, and today we're going to talk about one slightly geeky but very interesting topic, which is dual camera phones. So even if you're not tech savvy, you might have heard that rumors strongly suggest and allege that the next iPhone might feature a dual camera. And to be more precise, that will be the next big iPhone, because as you know, for the past couple of years, Apple has been releasing 2 iPhones at a time. So this year might be 2, some rumors say even 3, but one of them will almost certainly feature 2 camera sensors on its back. And 2 camera sensors have been around for a while. It's nothing completely new or revolutionary as an idea, but what makes the technology so interesting is its implementation. That is, up until now, every manufacturer of smartphones has done literally their own take on the subject. There is not a single standard. So that's why it's exciting to see what Apple will bring to the table as far as technology and implementation, you know, from consumer and industry perspective. In any case, a quick history on dual cameras. So one of the first devices that used dual cameras goes all to my memory. There are probably many others, but in the US market, HTC had a Sprint smartphone back in 2011. It was called the Evo 3D. 3D obviously stands for 3D. That was a time when people think that this is cool, you know. And HTC had that smartphone. It was Sprint exclusive, and it had 2 cameras on the back, which allowed it to capture 3D content and display it on its 3D display. So at that point, that was pretty, you know, tech forward. Obviously, it didn't stick because I'm probably one of the few people that know about this phone. You know, other than the tech community.
Yeah.
But in any case, that's 5 years ago. And then back in 2014, again, HTC, for their flagship smartphone, the HTC One M8, they again did dual camera. There were 2 sensors on the back. One was in charge of capturing photos, and the second one was not capturing photos. It was only reading data. Basically, more data, which you can use in post-processing. You could add cool picture effects like depth of field and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we're fast forwarding to today, and we have 2 dual camera phones that have been available for the past couple of months. One is the LG G5, which is LG's current flagship smartphone. And we have one that's actually not available in the United States for the time being, but it's super highly interesting because that's the Huawei P9 Plus, and it has both phones have 2 cameras. And what's cool about the Huawei is that the cameras of the P9 Plus have been tuned by Leica, and Leica photographers is a pretty big name in the photography community. They're known for making cameras that usually have 5-digit price tags. So it's cool to see it on a smartphone that, you know, that you can get. So first, we're going to start with the LG G5. So like we mentioned, there are 2 cameras, and the setup is quite interesting. One of the cameras is a standard 16 megapixel unit.
Is that like the one that are on like iPhones and everything, or?
All right. So the current iPhone has just 1 camera.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is that those have 2 cameras. Did someone ask a question?
Oh, I was just wondering because I mean, like the 16, like when you're saying about, is that like the traditional one?
So yeah, megapixels used to be very important until a couple years ago. Everybody was obsessed about putting as many megapixels in the camera as possible, and
this is when people still like 3D.
no, it was slightly after. I would say until a couple years ago, but since last year, manufacturers have focused not so much on megapixels as opposed to on the size of the pixels. So cameras this year, last year smartphones, many of them had 16 megapixel cameras or 20. this year, for comparison, Samsung has gone with 12 megapixel cameras, but they have larger pixels. Larger pixels allow the camera sensor to accumulate more light, which means that low light performance, all those images that you take in less than perfect conditions, look much nicer. And to a point where today's top shelf smartphones have cameras that are so good that you definitely, almost certainly don't need a cheap point and shoot dedicated camera. Like your smartphone can do that. Obviously, more expensive regular cameras have larger sensors, so they'll still take better photos. But if you have to choose between going with your smartphone or just spending a couple $100 on a regular point and shoot camera, I would probably go with the smartphone. Simply, the rest is not worth it. Anyway, so back to your question, the iPhone has a 12 megapixel camera. In the case of the LG, it's you have one 16 megapixel camera and one 8 megapixel camera. So what's cool about those is the 16 megapixel camera is regular and it has a pretty high aperture lens, while the 8 megapixel one has a wide angle lens. Wide angle lens means, if you come a bit closer, I can show you, is that you can literally...
Is that a cue?
Yes,
Great.
you can literally... Let's just get the robot so that we can use it for reference. So currently, if you can see the field of view, this is the regular camera, the 16 megapixel one. And if you press the one here, look how it expands the field of view.
Cool.
So this is really cool because typically if you want to capture a panorama, you need to go to a panorama mode, then you need to start going sideways like that, and then it has to stitch it. As opposed to, in the case of the LG G5, you have basically a dedicated panorama snapper.
Awesome.
Which is really, really, really cool. And the images come out quite nicely. I mean, LG is known for making smartphones with great image quality. Another cool thing about those is LG has a camera grip for the phone, and the camera grip has a little wheel, and when you have a wide angle and a regular angle sensor, when you use the wheel, they seamlessly zoom between each other and then increase the zoom range of the smartphone. While you're here, we'll talk about the Huawei now. So this is the LG G5. It's currently available. If you're interested to find out more about the smartphone, there's a review on Popular Mechanics and Best Products, so you can find out more, including camera samples from both cameras of the device. And now we're going to talk about the Huawei P9 Plus.
In between the two, right quick, we have a question from Tina. She asks, how about printers for smartphones?
Printers for smartphones. Thank you so much for asking that question. We have a very cool piece on portable camera printers on Best Products. LG is actually one of the leaders in that field. They make very cool tiny portable printers with rechargeable battery, and you can print very cute little prints instant.
Great.
So it's really nice. You just pair it with your smartphone with one touch. There's a dedicated app, and you can even edit the photos before you print them out. It's really cool. But we do have a piece about that on Best Products. So now we're going to talk about the Huawei P9 Plus. So this is an altogether different setup compared to the LG. We have two camera sensors. Both of them are 12 megapixels, but one of them has no RGB filter, so it's monochrome. Just about every smartphone can capture black and white photos. Basically, it's a filter, so through processing you get black and white. But this one, because it doesn't have RGB filter, it captures real black and white photos. And because of that, the detail and the quality of the black and white photos is genuinely excellent and better than probably the black and white photos of any smartphone out there. And it's also pretty hip to capture black and white photos. You can just walk around Williamsburg or another cool place.
Yes.
And just capture black and white photos while looking looking board.
Yes, great.
Or something along that line.
Great for the
So,
hipsters.
You can picture the whole vibe.
absolutely. And like I mentioned, there's a proud Leica logo with the signature Leica font, and now we're going to take a look at the camera interface. So we're not going to focus on all the settings I know currently. You can see there's this is the regular camera sensor because it's color, and when you swipe up, there's a monochrome option. What's cool is I love that they use the Leica fonts. Which if you have seen a Leica camera, this is the signature font.
Cool.
It's really cool. So when you press monochrome, it goes black and white.
There it is.
And that's real black and white. And even if it's in monochrome mode, you can still access manual controls, which are pretty cool. You can tweak the ISO, the shutter speed. In any case, you get my drift. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, awesome.
Especially if you like black and white photos. So the Huawei P9 Plus is not officially available in the United States, but if you really want one, you can probably find it on Amazon, eBay. I've tried this with T-Mobile. It works pretty well. I'm reasonably confident that the same goes for AT&T. What's cool about it is that if you don't feel like splurging for one, because that one is pretty pricey, Huawei recently, last week to be precise, launched a new phone called the Honor 8, and it has a similar dual camera setup on the back, and it's currently available for pre-order for $399 on Amazon, Newegg, and other major retailers. So yeah, two cool dual camera phones. To find out more, you can head over to Popular Mechanics or Best Products and find the pieces that you care about. And obviously, next month, September, is iPhone month, so there will almost certainly be a dual camera iPhone, so we might revisit that topic when the new iPhone comes in.
We have a question.
Yes, of course.
Not to
Go ahead.
cut that nice wrap up, but Ruben says that he has the one of the two that I would rather not try to pronounce, P8 at the moment, and
Yeah.
would you suggest rather upgrading to the P9 Plus or something else?
Well, P9 Plus is a very cool phone, but like I mentioned, it's not officially available in the United States. The reason why I featured it is just to talk about this dual camera setup. I haven't really spent much time with the P8, but I will probably hold on for a bit because the P9, its chipset limits it from recording 4K video, so it's excellent for still images, but video is not on the same level as other phones currently on the market. And another thing that's important is its display tops out at Full HD. It's a Full HD resolution, which is not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but every high-end Android phone has Quad HD display, which is much prettier, you know. So I will wait a little bit, or if you want to step up in camera quality, you can check out the Honor 8 that was released. So it's still Huawei experience, same build quality. You'll get the dual cameras, and it's fairly reasonably priced at $400.
Great.
Any other questions?
I think we're
Good?
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
On this high note, thank you for stopping by, and we'll be back soon.